Hey guys, it's Gadi, Schwartz, and tonight we are keeping an eye on the markets, which have been on a topsy-turvy wild ride in the early days of the Trump administration, but that does not stop the president from doubling down on his promise for more tariffs.
I'm not going to bend at all. Aluminum or steel or cars, we're not going to bend.
Vladimir Putin says Russia is open to that ceasefire deal, but with some conditions that U.S. leaders who are on their way to Russia might find hard to swallow. Plus, one of the president's first executive orders reaches the Supreme Court.
This next order relates to the definition of birthright citizenship under the 14th Amendment of the United States.
That's a good one. Birthright. That's a big one.
And a man in Connecticut escapes 20 years of captivity by setting fire to the room he was trapped in. But you won't believe the person being accused of keeping him locked up all those years. Those are just some of the stories we are following. There is so much more to unpack tonight. So let's get going, because this is Stay Tuned Now. Happy almost Friday, and what a day it has been. Wall Street is looking real messy again, with the S&P 500 going into correction territory. President Trump is once again upping the ante on tariff threats yet again today, this time saying things like wine from France, 200% tariff. And the Commerce Secretary has an explanation.
The president was totally annoyed that the Europeans did this, and so you're going to hear back from someone who emotionally cares about America. He cares about America, and he wants to take care of Americans. And why are Europeans picking on Kentucky bourbon
Secretary
or
Lutnick,
Harley-Davidson motorcycles?
Are you saying this is an emotional response?
Also, another plot twist. A federal judge is now telling some federal agencies to give jobs back to thousands of workers who were fired under those DOGE threats or DOGE cuts. The Departments of Veteran Affairs, Agriculture, Defense, Energy, all named in that ruling. And on the international affairs front, the president is still talking about wanting Greenland.
Denmark's very far away and really has nothing to do. What happens? A boat landed there 200 years ago or something, and they say they have rights to it. We've been dealing with Denmark, we've been dealing with Greenland, and we have to do it. We really need it for national security.
And while all that is happening, a ceasefire in Ukraine is so close, and yet Russian President Vladimir Putin is saying he might need to talk to Trump on the phone first. Lots to get there, right? So let's start with NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez, who is in Canada tonight. Gabe, you're in Canada, so let's start with the Canada-U.S. trade talks. Trump is saying he's not going to bend at all on tariffs. He seemed to, add some insult to injury today, right, saying that the U.S. doesn't need Canada. What does that tell us about where things are headed?
Yeah, Gadi, President Trump saying not just that the U.S. doesn't need Canada, but also reiterating his idea that he's floated about Canada becoming the 51st state, and also saying that they could keep their national anthem, "Oh, Canada." And that was incredibly awkward here in Quebec, because Secretary of State Marco Rubio in the building behind me meeting with foreign ministers of U.S. allies. Earlier today, he met with a Canadian foreign minister. Tonight, he's going to be in a dinner with several of them as well. And we still do not have a readout from his meeting earlier today. He did not speak with reporters today, did not take any questions. So on the agenda at this foreign ministers meeting was, of course, the war in Ukraine and China, the Indo-Pacific, but looming large over all of this has been this turmoil over tariffs. Again, President Trump today threatening 200% tariffs on European alcohol coming to the U.S. Certainly a lot of anxiety really around the world, Gadi.
To be a fly on the wall of those meetings in there. And on another note right now, the president, we saw him withdraw his nomination for the head of the CDC at the very last minute. Do you know what happened there?
Yeah, that's right, Gadi. So Dave Weldon, former congressman of Florida, his nomination was withdrawn at the last minute. He was supposed to testify just this morning in front of a Senate committee. But as we understand it, the reason it was withdrawn, it was when it became clear that the White House realized that they didn't have the votes in the Senate because of his controversial past statements about vaccines. So it was a very last-minute pulling of the nomination, but we just learned about it earlier today, Gadi.
And obviously, there's a lot going on in Europe, in Ukraine, with Russia. This Trump-Putin phone call, like, do you think that we're going to see that happen anytime soon here? Do you think that we could possibly see a ceasefire by this weekend?
Well, certainly there's a lot that needs to happen for that ceasefire to happen. Now, President Trump's envoy to Ukraine and to that part of the world, Steve Witkoff, he is actually in Moscow right now and is set to meet with Vladimir Putin. But the big question will be, will Putin himself meet with President Trump? Now, earlier today in the Oval Office, President Trump said that Putin had made a very positive statement, essentially saying that he is open to a ceasefire, but there would need to be more conditions that Ukraine would need to agree to. But the White House and the Trump administration has made the argument that President Trump has gotten all parties closer to a ceasefire than the previous administration did. So it does appear that there is some movement. Unclear exactly how far President Putin is willing to go, but the Trump administration is hopeful that something can get done in the next few days, Gadi.
Yeah, you can argue dialogue is dialogue. Gabe Gutierrez, thank you. And let's go back to those markets with senior reporter at Yahoo Finance, Brooke DePalma. Brooke, first off, explain to us again what it means when we say that the S&P 500 is going into correction territory here.
Gadi, correction territory is just this technical term that Wall Street likes to use. It essentially means that the S&P 500 has fallen, seen a 10% decline from its recent peak back in February 19th to be exact. And it's really spooked investors, maybe for those new investors who are just getting into the market. They've never heard this before, but it's not that rare. The last correction happened in 2023, and before that, 2020. And what's largely driving this is this fear of tariffs, ongoing inflation, and so on.
And when it comes to another Wall Street word that we all know, the R word that freaks Wall Street out every single time, recession, that does not seem to be phasing the Trump administration at all right now. Take a listen.
Will these policies be worth it if they lead to a recession, even a short-term recession?
These policies are the most important thing America has ever had.
So it is worth it.
It is worth it. It is not chaotic. And the only one who thinks it's chaotic is someone who's being silly.
Brooke, what's a read? I mean, is a recession coming based on some of the comments that we're starting to see out there right now?
Yeah, the likelihood of recession is growing, even especially most recently as these tariff discussions ramp up and consumer sentiment. Now, keep in mind, consumers contribute about 70% to the U.S. economy. And so if consumers pull back, if that spending slows down, that's really the fear here. But a recession is not imminent, but it's certainly on Wall Street's minds right now.
It's been really interesting to watch Litnick because he's not only couching a little bit of this, he's also, like, on the other side hinting at things like Trump wanting to do away with the income taxes for people making under $150,000. Like, that is a pretty sweet thing to say, but delivering on it, that's a whole other story. Does it seem possible, given everything that's being juggled in the air right now?
Well, keep in mind that this is an aspirational goal that Trump has, according to that Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick. So essentially, he said that when the president goes to balance the budget, that this is a possibility that Americans who earn less than $150,000 could be waived of taxes. They won't have to pay taxes anymore. But keep in mind, again, this is aspirational. It's not actually happening in the near term. But to give some context there, this would affect a majority of Americans. More than 90% of Americans earn less than $150,000. So it could have major implications, but also on the flip side, it could reduce tax revenue for the federal government and also increase national debt. So aspirational goal here, whether or not it actually happens, remains to be seen.
It sure does. Brooke DePalma, thank you so much for joining us. And now back to the U.S. Constitution and the part that says Quote, all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. Tonight, the Trump administration is hoping to take his controversial interpretation of that over birthright citizenship all the way to the Supreme Court. In a series of emergency appeals, Trump has asked the nation's highest court to reject a bunch of lower court rulings in 3 different states that already upheld citizenship by birth nationwide. So joining us now is senior Supreme Court reporter for NBC News, Lawrence Hurley. Lawrence, thanks for being with us. So spell this out for us. Trump isn't asking SCOTUS to decide about the issue itself, to decide about the interpretation there, right? This is just to reject the lower court's rulings?
Yeah, it's a little complicated, so bear with me for a second. But basically, at this stage, the administration is not asking the court to actually issue a ruling on the legal merits of this novel interpretation that would upend everyone's pretty much understanding of the 14th Amendment for the last 100 years or so. What they're asking for is the court to kind of trim these lower court injunctions that blocked the policy nationwide. They want to be allowed to kind of think about the policy, for agencies to consider how they might implement it if it was allowed to go into effect. And also they wanted to be able to implement it against people who haven't sued. So in other words, states that haven't sued, red states that haven't sued, different groups that haven't sued. So if the court was to grant this, it would allow the policy maybe to go into effect in a kind of limited way. But of course, there's no guarantee that the court's going to buy that.
I mean, that would be a crazy patchwork of different, not laws, but different interpretations all throughout the United States. It's wild. Based on your perspective, what do you think is going to happen here on this particular request and beyond? Do you think that we will eventually see SCOTUS decide and subject to the jurisdiction thereof, like that weird little clause that, again, for 100 years has meant something very clear, but could mean a whole lot more than we think it does?
Right. I mean, as you said, the interpretation, the interpretation that we all kind of understand right now has been in place for decades. Most legal scholars think, the 14th Amendment kind of means what it says. People who are born in the U.S. are citizens, whatever the status of their parents. And even though, we have this conservative Supreme Court with a 6-3 conservative majority, most people seem to think, the court probably isn't going to go there. But that doesn't mean they won't have to take up a case. Maybe they'll have to issue a ruling that kind of makes that clear. But, if there's no court that ever actually rules in favor of the Trump administration, then there might not be any reason for the administration, for the Supreme Court to get involved in this at all.
Yeah, a lot to watch out for there. NBC's Lawrence Hurley, thanks so much for joining us. And it's looking like a government shutdown is becoming less likely. Earlier today, Democrats seemed ready to block the funding bill in the Senate, but that might not be the case any longer. Let's bring in NBC's Ryan Nobles to walk us through these latest developments. Ryan, where did this 180 from Chuck Schumer come from?
Yeah, Gadi, I think the Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer made a calculation here about a set of bad options that he felt Democrats had in front of them. One would be to attempt to block this piece of legislation, a short-term spending bill that would fund the government through September, which he felt was bad politics and bad policy, and also would give the Trump administration too much power. But on the other end, if he blocked that legislation, it would open the door to a government shutdown, which would have devastating impacts across the country and without any clear exit strategy as to how to get out of it. And he thought that was a political problem for Democrats, and it was also a problem for the average American. And between the two, he decided that the shutdown was the bigger risk. So while Schumer and the rest of the Democrats were very unhappy with this continuing resolution, as it is called, they are going to at least allow it to come to the Senate floor and be able to be passed with a simple majority of 51 votes. And that looks to be the path that they're going to take sometime tomorrow. Gadi.
Now, is this one of those congressional cases of it ain't over till it's over? Or did you guys actually hear yelling coming through those doors in that closed door meeting that suggested no, this thing's going to sail through?
Yeah, well, we definitely heard yelling coming out of that room. I mean, Democrats are very unhappy with the position that they find themselves in. And there are a significant number of Democrats who are hearing from their constituents wanting them to fight the Trump administration, wanting them to stand up to the Trump administration over the way that they've conducted themselves in the first couple weeks of this administration. But the argument that Schumer is making is that this is not the fight to pick, that the shutdown would have too devastating of a consequences, not just from a policy standpoint, but from them politically as well. To your point, though, is this a done deal? It seems like it is likely, but on Capitol Hill, it's never done until it's done. In order to eliminate that 60-vote threshold that it will require to pass the bill, at least 8 Democrats will have to vote to say that we don't need 60 votes to pass this legislation. That's the path that they're looking for. Take a vote to allow it to the floor, and then the members would be able to vote no, but then still give the legislation an opportunity to pass. That seems to be the direction that they're heading, but they are going to have to sleep on it tonight. They are going to hear a lot from their constituents on social media, on TikTok and Twitter and other places. So anything can happen between now and tomorrow, but it seems very likely that at least at this point, we've avoided a government shutdown.
We'll see how it goes. Ryan Nobles, thank you. Meanwhile, a powerful storm is making its way cross country tonight after leaving its mark here in California. From heavy snow up in the mountains to mudslides, even a tornado here in L.A. Yeah, the National Weather Service confirmed a weak and rare tornado touching down out of Pico Rivera early this morning. Now, that lasted only about 2 minutes, but the winds were still blowing about 85 miles an hour, enough to topple these huge trees onto houses and cars, knocking out power. The storm also triggering mudslides, the biggest concern heading into this storm. And firefighters rescued 6 people from their cars after mudslides took over this road near Palm Springs. Now, rescue crews, they also had to airlift a man who was hanging onto a tree after his car got trapped in those fast-moving waters. Fears over conditions like that had city leaders issuing evacuation warnings and closures in the burn areas. And this storm system is far from over as it starts to move its way east over the next few days. NBC News meteorologist Bill Cairns is tracking the latest tonight. Hey there, Bill.
Gadi, besides the tornado, much of California made it through the storm pretty much unharmed. Got some significant snow. I saw some reports of 2 to 3 feet up in ski country areas. I know Mammoth picked up 30 inches of snow. We did get some significant rain early this morning, but we just didn't really get the mud and debris flows like we were afraid of. They were more isolated, nothing large, and that's fantastic. So it ends up turning out to be more of a beneficial storm for California than anything else. Now that storm is heading through Arizona, we've had some strong gusty winds. We've got some problems with dust out there. We've had dust storm warnings. I know around Tucson on Interstate 10, we've got some issues there with visibility. And this whole storm is heading out into the plains. Tomorrow at this time, we should be tracking severe weather and maybe even possibly tornadoes. These are going to be fast-moving storms that are going to be racing through the Midwest. This is the area of greatest concern. So at this time tomorrow, the storms will likely be in Missouri and Iowa. Then after the sun sets, all these storms will be heading through Illinois, right down the Mississippi River here towards Memphis will be one of those areas we'll be watching too. And anywhere with these hashed lines, that's where we have a chance of not only tornadoes, but maybe a few strong nocturnal tornadoes. And one of the issues is that these storms are going to be flying. So if we get tornadoes, they will likely be moving at 60 to 70 miles per hour. So that means they have to give the warnings well ahead of time because they're going to be traveling so fast. So you have to really be on top of it, even if it's in the middle of the night, to make sure you have your safety plan in place for your family. Then by the time we get to Saturday, these storms will be going in the morning, but during the afternoon, we think a bunch of storms are going to come out of areas of Louisiana, maybe even New Orleans, and especially southern half of Mississippi and Alabama. Be alert because we could see additional strong tornadoes. By the time we get towards, I'd say, Sunday, the tornado threat will drop a little bit. For our friends in St. Louis, this is how it looks at 10 p.m. tomorrow. These would all be strong thunderstorms that could be producing isolated tornadoes. And I did mention on Sunday, we still will be tracking severe weather, but it's going to be more a wind damage threat as it arrives on the East Coast. And the other story, because we're going to have such a strong storm, and it's so dry still, and it's going to be so windy that we are going to have widespread fire danger from Texas all the way up through the plains. We are going to even see from areas of Oklahoma, including Oklahoma City, Fort Worth, to Lubbock, this extreme risk category, which is pretty rare. This is where relative humidity is going to be very low, and some of these wind gusts in this area are expected to approach 80 miles per hour. So, Gadi, this storm is a very typical, very strong spring system. Tornadoes, fire threat, and just plain wind damage all by itself. We'll be tracking it.
Yikes. Bill Cairns, thank you. And this next story is so wild. Tonight in Connecticut, there's a man that is free after allegedly being held captive and starved for more than 20 years by his own stepmom. Now, at the time of his discovery, the 32-year-old was 5'9" and just 68 pounds. Here's what police had to say.
So there's some physical evidence that was seized from the house that does corroborate the fact that that room did have exterior locks on it and a number of different styles of exterior locks. As was explained during an interview with the victim throughout the years, it appeared that the locks increased in security levels as time progressed, and obviously he became older and maybe a little bit stronger.
NBC News correspondent Aaron McLaughlin has more.
Tonight, 56-year-old Kimberly Sullivan is charged with felony assault and kidnapping of her 32-year-old stepson.
It's truly a horrifying, and it's beyond comprehension what occurred here.
Police allege Sullivan held her stepson captive inside this Connecticut home for 2 decades, locking him inside his room for more than 20 hours a day with little food, water, or medical attention.
It was worse than the conditions of a jail cell.
Police are not naming the alleged victim, who they say set fire to his home last month using a lighter, hand sanitizer, and paper because he wanted his freedom. According to the affidavit, which also says when firefighters arrived, Sullivan was outside. The man found inside, suffering from smoke inhalation, standing at 5'9" tall and weighing 69 pounds. Adding he was extremely emaciated. His hair was matted and unkempt. He was very dirty, and all his teeth appeared to be rotten. Sullivan denies the allegations. Her attorney telling NBC News she intends to plead not guilty. While the victim's former principal says his school sounded the alarm decades ago.
We knew it. We reported it. Not a damn thing was done. That's the tragedy of the whole thing.
Tonight, police acknowledge a wellness check was performed back in 2005, but they say they found nothing wrong. His former principal says the boy was pulled from school and never seen again.
The young man's unimaginable suffering over the course of 2 decades is just a reminder of the darkness that does exist in our world.
Aaron McLaughlin, NBC News.
Yeah, what a red flag missed. NBC's Aaron McLaughlin, thank you so much. And here are some of the other headlines we're watching tonight. A former pastor of a mega church in Texas was indicted on child sex assault charges. Robert Morris resigned from his post last summer after admitting to having inappropriate sexual contact back in the 80s. Now, the victim, who was 12 at the time, spoke out and accused him of sexual abuse. If he's convicted, he could face up to 20 years in prison. And hundreds of people stormed Trump Tower in Manhattan today, demanding the release of Mahmoud Khalil, the pro-Palestinian activist who has been detained by ICE. Police arrested about 100 protesters. Khalil is at the immigration detention facility, but a federal judge has temporarily blocked the deportation process. The judge in New Mexico is being asked to block the release of materials connected to Gene Hackman's death investigation. Those include photos and video of when authorities found him dead in his home. The injunction was filed by his estate. And Congressman Raul Giverla passed away today. The Arizona Democrat served in the House for more than 2 decades. He died from complications to cancer treatment. He was first diagnosed early last year. He was 77 years old. And looks like NBC is expanding its Olympics media rights. Our parent company, Comcast NBC Universal, struck a deal with the IOC to continue broadcasting through 2036. That includes the 2034 Salt Lake City Winter Games and the soon-to-be-announced 2036 Summer Games. The deal is worth about $3 billion. And don't go anywhere. We are just getting started. Up next, some massive changes at the Department of Education. And no, we're not talking about layoffs. We are going to explain why some student loan payments are skyrocketing. Plus, What was your biggest accomplishment when you were 18 years old? Maybe getting into your top choice of schools? Well, later this hour, you're going to meet a student who is blowing our minds with his space discoveries. More than 1 million of them. Oh, and NASA is interested too. That's all ahead, so stay tuned. Hey, welcome back. Looking forward to tomorrow. That's when SpaceX will try again to launch its Crew 10 mission to the International Space Station, which means we will have to wait a little bit longer for the return trip home for astronauts Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams. The launch was scrubbed yesterday because of some sort of hydraulic issues. And Marissa Parra is at the Kennedy Space Center with the latest. Hey there, Marissa.
Well, Gadi, this wind that you were seeing messing up my hair right now, this is why they're not even going to attempt to launch today. But it was not the weather that was the problem yesterday. In fact, we talked about it. It was beautiful. There wasn't even a cloud in the sky. It was a hydraulic system issue, specifically with the clamp that holds the rocket in place. So as we've talked about, this is a ground issue, no issue with the rocket that was identified yesterday. But of course, there is a domino effect here. We're looking at 2 other launch opportunities coming up. And if that holds, here's what the timeline would look like. So 7:03 p.m. Friday night is the next upcoming launch opportunity. If Crew 10 launches at that time, we would see Crew 10 dock at the International Space Station Saturday night. There would be that whole ceremony, the passing of the baton, Crew 10 welcomed by Crew 9 and everyone else aboard the ISS, and of course showing them the ropes. And for the 2 astronauts who have never been in space before, of course, crew members, we've seen some of them are veterans, others this will be their first time. They have to adjust to gravity. It's a whole process, Gadi. But then 4 to 7 days later is when we would see Crew 9 cleared to return back to Earth for splashdown. Of course, big question is when? That also depends on weather. So at soonest, that would be Wednesday. And of course, a lot of questions on how was everyone impacted by this? Well, we got an update from NASA on their blogs on how all of the Crew 9 members, of course, including Butch and Suni, stayed extra busy with experiments. And then, of course, Crew 10, they remain in quarantine. This is standard procedure before a launch, just to make sure everything and everyone is safe. So I can imagine, of course, there was a lot of excitement yesterday. There's always some disappointment when a launch doesn't happen for one reason or another, but we know this is standard operating procedure, and also it's just important to stay safe because we're talking about human lives going to space. So safety first, but of course everyone very eager, and I'm sure especially not just Crew 9 but Crew 10, they're excited to go to space. So everyone keeping fingers and toes crossed here, Gadi.
Safety first. Marissa Parra, thank you. Meanwhile, 13 million people are now scrambling to pay back their student loans after the Department of Education decided to stop some income-driven student loan repayment plans. NBC News Chief Education Correspondent Rahima Ellis has more on why this is happening and what this means for the millions impacted.
There's an overwhelming sense of uncertainty looming over Hannah Contreras' future.
This has made a permanent lump in my throat.
Her monthly federal student loan payments skyrocketing.
My student loan payment has gone up $905
every month. While it might sound like something a loan shark would do, doubling or tripling payments without notice, it's actually because of a dramatic change at the Department of Education. Not from staffing cuts, not even DOGE, but a broad interpretation of a court order. Some student loan repayment plans based on income are suddenly halted, affecting 13 million borrowers, according to the National Consumer Law Center. It's all in response to ongoing litigation over what the Biden administration called the Saving on a Valuable Education, or SAVE plan, where monthly payments are based on income and family size, an attractive option for millions of graduates just getting started.
Borrowers who've made the required number of payments in the SAVE plan would normally be eligible to have their remaining balance canceled.
Last year, several conservative-leaning states challenged the plan, saying it would require spending up to $475 billion not authorized by Congress. And a recent temporary order by the Eighth Circuit Court in Missouri broadened the scope of the case to some other income-based plans, too.
In response to the court order, the Department of Education, without any explanation, simply pulled down all of the applications for the income-driven repayment plans.
We reached out to the Department of Education for comment, but have yet to hear back. On the website, it says applications are temporarily unavailable due to the court's injunction. Consumer law experts like Abby Safroth say the DOE is going further than it needs to.
It could keep allowing borrowers to apply for and to stay in the other plans.
Now Contreras, with her monthly payments soaring and no increase in salary, is trying to figure out what's next.
I did everything I was supposed to so that I could be in the desk I'm in right now. And yet I may have been better off doing something different.
She's a mother of two with a master's degree. Today, she's working as a therapist in a community mental health clinic in Oregon. She says it's important work, but it doesn't come with a large paycheck.
I can pay the loans. I never said I couldn't pay them. I just said I need to be able to do it in the ways we were told when we were 18 that we would be able to.
Contreras and many more looking for clarity as their options seem narrower than ever.
Rahima Ellis, thank you so much for that reporting. And coming up in just a bit, an Instagram stunt involving a baby wombat could end up getting a U.S. influencer deported from Australia. But first, you got to see this. Now, there's normally a lot of experiments and chemical reactions at Texas Tech University, but green sparks coming from under manhole covers like something out of Ninja Turtles. Yeah, at first it looked like sparks, then it turned into full-on flames, causing power outages and evacuations all through campus. And the cause of that fire, it's still not completely clear, but it was enough to send students off their spring break campus and into spring break early. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back. It's time to talk about the American influencer who snatched a baby wombat away from her mom while traveling in Australia and then posted it online.
Just caught a baby wombat. Look at the mother. It's like, oh, it's chasing after her.
Oh, and that's not all. In the second part of the video, the baby sounds pretty sad.
I caught a baby wombat. Okay, Mama's right there, and she is pissed. Let's let him go.
No, he's right.
All right, let's let him go. Come here, Mama.
The woman in that video, that is Sam Jones. She is a self-described outdoor enthusiast with over 91,000 followers. She's since taken down that video, gone private. Meanwhile, there is a petition to get her deported. Even the Prime Minister of Australia wants justice. And Camila Bernal, she joins us here in the studio. Camila, okay, so first off, I think we're hoping to play some sound from the Prime Minister
we'll
here.
get to that.
What does the Prime Minister say? What's going on here?
I mean, people are mad, not just the Prime Minister. Everyone in Australia is really upset about this. And you said there is that petition for her to be deported. There's more than 30,000 people that signed this petition. The Minister of the Department of Home Affairs, which is really the agency that oversees immigration, he said, look, we're going to look into any violations. Not only that, but they're also looking to see if they can not just kick her out, but also keep her away from Australia. They were saying, look, we'll look into all of this. And if she applies again for a visa, she's likely not going to get that. So, of course, people are just so angry that it rose to the level of the Prime Minister. Take a listen.
Take a baby wombat from its mother and clearly causing distress from the mother is just an outrage. And, you know, I suggest to this so-called influencer, maybe she might try some other Australian animals. Take a baby crocodile from its mother and see how you go there.
Baby crocodile would be a whole different story.
A very different story. I mean, it's not just government officials. It's not just the Prime Minister. The internet is obviously pissed off, too. I want to read some of those tweets. This one's from an American who said, this person, Sam Jones, should be deported back to the USA. And then there's another tweet that actually has 14,000 likes. And this one says, I want that American animal abuser charged and kicked out of Australia. I mean, you can see that people are upset, of course. You saw that profile.
I mean, and then you hear it in the wombat's voice, you know?
It's so sad.
Okay, meanwhile, for the clout chasers out there, remind us why it's a bad idea to scoop up like a wild animal away from its from its mother?
It's just a bad idea. But just before I get to that, I do want to say we reached out to her. Her Instagram is now private. NBC News has reached out to her. I tried to add her. She's nowhere to be found at the moment. But yeah, experts are saying that you cannot do this, not just because it's not a joke and because you shouldn't be doing this for Instagram, but also they're saying that this is something that could have hurt the animal, that this is something that could have left the animal at risk of becoming roadkill. And take a listen to this statement. This is really sad. The Wombat Protection Society of Australia is saying this: there's no clear evidence that the joey was successfully reunited with its mother. A baby of this size is highly dependent on its mother, and prolonged separation could have fatal consequences. So it's really sad. You can't separate a baby from its mom.
No, not at all.
Not for Instagram.
Camila, thank you so much for joining us. And here are some of the stories that are happening out west that we're following right now, starting with this from the archives.
2 days after it blew its top, Alaska's Mount Spurry is still rumbling. When the volcano came to life, it spewed a large plume of ash and steam 50,000 feet into the air, dumping 1/4 of an inch of fine silt over this city of 250,000 people. Local authorities are warning people to wear protective masks or stay inside.
That was 1992, 30 years ago, when a volcano near Alaska's largest city sent the city into darkness for hours. Well, scientists are saying that could happen again pretty soon, and experts are saying that there are signs pointing to an eruption at Mount Spur in the next few months or even weeks. Meanwhile, a Tesla store in Oregon was shot up for the second time in 1 week. More than a dozen shots were fired, causing a security guard there to take cover as bullets damaged the store's windows and cars. Officials are urging anyone who saw or heard anything to speak up. And for the first time in years, Earth's shadow will swallow the moon, turning it blood red. Here on Earth, we're going to see the sun, us, and the moon all aligning to create a total lunar eclipse. You'll be able to see it from nearly anywhere in North America. No special glasses needed. You don't want to miss this one. The next one won't be until next year. And we've got some breaking news out of Denver tonight, where a plane there has caught on fire. Steve Patterson has the latest details. He'll be here in just a moment. Hey, welcome back. All eyes are on Ukraine and Russia tonight. If a ceasefire there is actually going to happen is still up in the air. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky saying in just the last few hours that Russia is preparing to reject proposed deals and wants to continue the war, and that President Vladimir Putin is too scared to say that directly to President Trump. But Putin, he's kind of said that he's on board with the deal, saying he wants to finish the conflict in a peaceful way, but that more details need to be sorted out. Remember, those ceasefire talks are happening right now in Moscow. NBC's chief foreign correspondent Richard Engel reports from Ukraine.
In his first comments on President Trump's 30-day ceasefire proposal, which was already accepted by Ukraine, Russia's President Putin tonight said he's in favor of the idea, then gave several reasons why he's not agreeing to it for now. The idea itself is right, and we absolutely support it, but there are questions we should discuss, he said, suggesting he'll call President Trump directly. President Putin went on to say a military pause would give Ukraine time to regroup and rearm, while Russian forces are making gains on the battlefield, especially in the Russian province of Kursk, where Putin just visited, donning fatigues and speaking of victory and new buffer zones.
Well, we'd like to see a ceasefire from Russia.
Still, President Trump described Putin's comments tonight as encouraging.
He put out a very promising statement, but it wasn't complete. Now we're going to see whether or not Russia's there, and if they're not, it'll be a very disappointing moment for the world.
On the front lines in Ukraine, troops aren't putting down the guns yet. They doubt Putin is seriously considering ending the war.
This soldier is scanning the sky for Russian drones. Even with all this talk of a ceasefire, soldiers out here say they're seeing no let-up in Russian attacks.
They say it's time to give peace a chance.
Everyone is waiting to see if Putin will also agree. What do you expect?
Russia's commitments, the soldier said, are not worth the paper they are printed on.
Richard Engel, thank you so much for that. Now, we are following some breaking news that's developing out of Colorado right now. There's a fire. We can show you this video. It seems to have broke out on an American Airlines plane at Denver's airport, according to a spokesperson. We're having trouble pulling that video up. But some of the video that we have seen shows some of the passengers standing on the plane's wing as smoke fills the air around them. And then there are a lot of images that are still coming in. Steve Patterson is in the studio with us right now. We're going to continue to try to get that video up to show you. But Steve, based on what you've seen, based on what you're hearing from airport officials, what's going on?
Yeah, Gadi, I just saw some of this video. It is passengers literally standing on the wing of this plane. It's at Denver International Airport. The thick black smoke is sort of billowing. It appears to be off the side of the plane. Those passengers, we're learning from an airport spokesman, were sort of escorted maybe onto the wing and then deployed slides and were able to leave the airplane. We don't know, however, how many people are on board. We don't know if there's any injuries, the extent of those injuries. All this we're trying to learn, but we're hearing that directly from an American Airlines spokesperson.
And based on some of these images, it does seem like this happened near the airport. It wasn't like, well, who knows? I mean, but it does seem like when the video picks up, the plane is near like the actual airport and the terminal.
And clearly some of the video comes from somebody obviously taking this on their cell phone, right? So you imagine that it's from either the terminal or the side of the airport where they're able to see the plane very visible. It's very large. You can see people, again, standing on the plane. The smoke is billowing past them. Looks like a kind of a harrowing situation. But again, we just don't know what the extent of the injuries are and how many people were affected by this. But I can tell you this is a major incident at a major airport. So this is something obviously officials are looking into.
And it all comes on the heels of so many incidents with planes, right?
Yeah, over the past, month, 2 months, the past 3 months, 4 months, we've had a number of these incidents playing both in the air. You can see some of this video now. Look at this. These are pictures of people appearing, again, to be standing directly on the wing of this plane as the smoke is billowing past them. I've seen more pictures, more images where the smoke appears to be blacker and sort of just
Flames
emanating. Exactly.
Too,
So when you see that kind of smoke, you know, obviously, when there's smoke, there's flames. Very dangerous situation for the people there. Hopefully, they're evacuating from that picture. We just can't tell exactly what's going on.
Yeah, and again, this is just happening, so we don't know if that plane was leaving, if that plane was coming in. We might have another image that we've been able to confirm here.
There it is.
There it is.
Yep.
And you see down there, right by the engine,
flames.
you've got flames over by the landing gear there. Again, this does seem to be pretty close to Denver International's terminal, right?
Yeah. I mean, you can see how close it is. It appears to be to the windows, to where people may have been taking these images. And then the airport crew in the foreground, the plane in the background, the thick smoke billowing out of the plane, people on the wing. It appears to be very close to the airports. We don't know exactly, again, what the sort of lockdown situation is maybe for the airport, if they're trying to get people out of that wing of the terminal at this point, because it is so close that it might be dangerous for people who are just trying to catch a flight.
And I'm monitoring some of the updates here. We don't have any updates on anybody injured or whether, anybody has been transported to the hospital. We do see people on the ground running. And we're looking at some video that's about to come in here in just a bit. But again, like anything from the Denver airport?
I want to read the direct statement. Sure. This is from Jay Blackman. He's a producer speaking to the spokesperson from American Airlines. He said, per an airport spokesperson, this fire happened aboard an American Airlines Airbus. Passengers evacuated via slides. I believe that's where you're seeing either the before and after or during. And you see the video now. No word on injuries yet. That's the end of the quote. As you see there, passengers appear to be sort of fanning out on the wings. Maybe they are waiting for those slides to deploy so they can slide down and escape the aircraft. But again, as you said, we don't know if this is before a flight. We don't know if this is sort of in relation to a flight that's going to occur later on. And we don't know, again, how close necessarily that is to the terminal. Although, again, in the video, you can now see people in the terminal sort of watching this happen. Terrifying.
I mean, and look at this video. I've never seen anything like this. And again, this last month has been absolutely insane. But you've got, looks like over a dozen, maybe 24 people on the wings. That's some considerable weight on that wing. And you've got somebody that is all the way to the edge of the wing there, trying to get away from that smoke that is billowing out from the other side. It looks like the other side of the plane. But, you fly a lot. I fly a lot.
Of course.
This is going to be an image, just like the other images that we've seen, that goes through people's mind before they go to travel. And yet, you've covered this. I've covered these stories. You look at the statistics and they say this is unlikely to happen?
Unlikely. I mean, look, you're safer in a plane theoretically than you are driving home on the 405 after we leave this studio. But these repeated images and something that is as tenuous in people's minds is air safety. So important and so key, especially to these airliners who are trying to get people to their destination. To see something like this where it looks like, as you mentioned, people are fanning out as far as they can from the plane so they don't burn in this fire. Horrific to see. And you really hope that those people, moments after we're seeing this video and we don't know, are sort of led to a slide and slide down and are able to safely deploy from that plane. But we just don't have the information yet. And obviously just watching this, it's such a scary sight.
Yeah, unfortunately, so far we have not heard of any injuries. Yep. Steve Patterson, really appreciate you helping us break down this late-breaking development here.
Yeah, we'll stay on it.
Now, we're going to turn to something that we spend a lot of time talking about on this show, about AI and the possibility of superintelligence. But there is a new term that has caught our attention. It is artificial scientific superintelligence. So what does this mean? Well, have you ever tried to read a scientific paper or study the structure of like a protein on the molecular level or tried to understand the atomic composition of our elements? That's where things start to take a lot of time for us humans to compute. But what if there was this super secret, powerful AI that you could feed all those scientific studies in, molecular structures, a function of microorganisms, and then ask it to start doing its own science experiment? Well, that kind of AI is already apparently here. It is named Lila, and instead of an AI assistant, apparently she works more like a chief scientist, basically directing humans on what to do in a lab to test out an AI hypothesis. Steve Lohr is he's a writer for New York Times who got a glimpse at how all of this works. Steve, this is such an important story, especially as we look 10 years down the road here. It's one thing for an AI to be able to spit out words. It's a whole other for it to start dreaming up science. What did you see? What are the applications here?
Well, I mean, much of what we've seen so far with artificial intelligence has been improving kind of back office functions, sales and marketing, customer service, things of that nature, which are, if you can improve those 10 to 30% or something, that's a big gain. But, it's not very inspiring. Science is sort of the big target out there that can really make a difference potentially. And it's those things like developing new drugs to make people healthier, improving agriculture to produce more food, new materials for things like green energy production and carbon capture. So those are, that's what has people really enthusiastic about this science field. And this term scientific superintelligence, which this company Lila has kind of coined, is this combination of really accelerating the pace of experimentation and then finding new things, largely through using AI trained, as you say, on all kinds of literature, experimental data. It trains on, the scientific world as opposed to scraping the web and the internet, which is what trained the chatbots like ChatGPT.
Yeah, and refining a lot of that data is pretty impressive. But not to get too dark here, because I know we're only talking about the early stages and proteins and chemical compounds and those kind of things. But fast forward a few years down the line, some of this to me at least seems like instead of building an AI Frankenstein, which we kind of already almost have, this is scientists trying to build the scientists that built Frankenstein. Does this need guardrails real quick?
Yeah, and they have ethical people. They have people working on that as well. But you're absolutely right. I mean, this is, you have a hugely powerful tool that can be used for good or evil. And it's true with misinformation, and it's true in science as well.
Yeah, I mean, so much to think about once you get past the bells and whistles that we see in front of us on a day-to-day basis. But the horizon is looking very, very interesting. Steve Lohr, thank you so much, and thanks for your reporting. And speaking of science experiments, remember back in high school during science fair when we built those little volcanoes and stuff like that? Well, imagine rolling into your science fair knowing you had made not just one astronomical discovery, not just two astronomical discoveries, not just 10 discoveries, but 1.5 million new discoveries in the night sky at the age of like 17. And the kid you were about to meet did it using a decade's worth of images from an almost forgotten old NASA telescope. So let's bring in senior at Pasadena High School, Mateo Paz, who is in the studio with us. Mateo, like, obviously rolling in like that, hands down first place. And yet I think we have the moment where you found out you won. Let's play that real fast.
From Pasadena High School in Pasadena, California, Mateo Paz. Congratulations.
There it was, but you had to have known. 1.5 million discoveries. You were shocked? That's real?
Yes, absolutely shocked.
My mind was blown, as yours was right there, when I saw, come over here to this wall, because this is wild to look at. This right here, this is what cinched the win. 1.5 million discoveries are in this somehow, right? Explain what we're looking at here.
Yeah, so we're looking at a projection of the night sky, very similarly to how we project, the globe onto a world map. So all I did to generate this image is I put a tiny 1-pixel dot wherever I had made a discovery. And just by that small little process, it really paints a beautiful mosaic of the entire sky, and it really kind of gives you a scale of the discovery that's going on here.
So each one of those teeny tiny little dots, that's using infrared like imaging, that's a new discovery. And we're not talking just like a massive star or something. What are those discoveries?
Yeah, so I'm studying variable objects. So they're anything in the night sky that's changing in brightness with time. This might be supermassive black holes, pulsating stars, a multiple star system that's eclipsing, just many different reasons and, a big variety of these objects.
Wow. Okay, and so you did all this. Let's go back over here because you brought a model. Obviously, this guy is floating up in space. NASA's satellite, but this is like an old telescope, right? Hubble always gets all the credit, and James Webb. But what's this guy?
Yeah, so kind of from my perspective, this is a fairly old mission. The data that I'm using actually only started to be collected about 10 years ago. And, it ended pretty recently. It re-entered the atmosphere and burned up in November 2024. This is NASA's WISE space telescope, and since about 2015, it orbited the Earth, collecting all sky infrared data. And, it's a very good data set to be working with, and it served me very well.
And so you took that old data set and then you did your own analysis. Like, this isn't NASA, this is you doing it at your high school.
Yeah, this is me. So I actually worked at Caltech. They gave me a lot of the tools that I needed to analyze this huge data set, about 200 terabytes. Really, one of the big advantages of working with this data set is that it's over a really long period of time. So with this 10 years, we can really study how the entire sky is changing over time. And that's really what I was interested in.
Oh, okay. So this satellite, rest in peace, has burned up. But you were looking at the data set, and yet there are so many other data sets out there that haven't really been analyzed. Like, what are you, dude, you're like 18. What are you going to do next? What else is out there that you really want to get your hands on?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in kind of continuing my work on this, actually. The catalog that I've produced, the 1.5 million new discoveries, actually has a lot of implications for astrophysics. One thing that you can do with that is measure the rate of expansion of the universe. And if we can really nail down that phenomenon that has really big implications on the origin of the universe.
Yeah, especially when that number is a little bit squishy these days. This is what a time to be growing up, man. Mateo, thank you so very much for joining us. Thank you for bringing the discoveries. We can't wait to see what you do next. And before we let you go tonight, we want to celebrate 2 years of Stay Tuned Now. That's right. We've been hanging out here every single night for 2 whole years. And in that time, we have racked up some very, very memorable moments. Take a look. We are coming to you live from UCLA's campus tonight, where pro-Palestinian protesters have redoubled their numbers at this encampment. Hey, brother! Hey there! Hey, what are you guys fortifying for? Is this for defense? Is this for possible police? No response? Okay. We're on the ground here in New Orleans following the latest in this horrible New Year's Day attack. There is still a sense of we don't want terrorists to win. We don't want them to take away the livelihoods that we experience. We're coming to you live from Altadena tonight with the latest on these horrible wildfires that we've been seeing. A very eerie scene out here in Altadena.
Again, you hear those explosions. So many of these homes, there is no hope.
One of the most protected natural kelp forests on the West Coast.
It feels so much like we're on a different planet.
Look at this.
A comb. You're beach combing.
I found a beach comb. I'm going to accelerate the rocket by just focusing on it?
Exactly.
What?
Exactly.
Shut up.
Oh, man, we're off.
All right, Gadi, how you feeling? I feel great.
And without curiosity, we'd have nothing. And the willingness to always want to know more, like not just stopping at what is already in front of you.
You guys give me hope for the future. And here's to many more years of memories. That's going to do it for us tonight. I'm Gadi Schwartz. We'll see you here Monday. But until then, stay tuned now.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.